This is my Mauschu V7. And it looks pretty cool actually. Yeah, this time I pretty much made a whole room for you to control the farm perfectly fine. You don't even have to go outside of this after you finish building. So this is obviously the storage where you will be receiving your shulkers of dried kelp blocks, right? Then right here you can drop your bone blocks and blaze rods. It says like the rates on the thing, right? It says the rates. This is a little like exit thing you could pull out or something. I left one hole so you can like, if you want, get out, right? Over here we have these spots where you drop chests and shulker shells. With the lamp off, it means you need to drop some, and when the lamp turns on, you need to stop dropping. Right here we have 3 lamps, which indicate that the smokers are filled with rods, then there's enough shulkers in the system, and lastly that all the farms are filled with bone meal. After all of these 3 lamps are on, you can click this lever. This does not necessarily need to be on, but this should be on if you start dropping bones and blaze rods, because you need the shulkers for that, obviously. For the floor we have a decent design, like it's just some random sea stuff, right? And then also you have these like waterways, 3 of them, or like 6, but like it's like 3 modules, right? So you can actually see the kelp flow in here when the farm is on, so that looks really cool, and you can basically see your profits being made. So I like that a lot. And then obviously you have these like seagrass, sea pickle, kelp stuff, you know, it's pretty cool. I like it a lot. Okay, so after stepping outside, you can actually see that this farm is pretty big, but it's not as big as my V6, but this also makes less money. It's easier to control, and I think a lot more people can afford this, because the V6 just wasn't an option for most people. So I think this is a very good farm for everyone to use when they have around $2 billion, which is pretty common on the SMP these days. And if you don't have 2 bill, then just watch my videos. You'll definitely get there really soon. Okay, so basically, I'm gonna go a little more in depth on this video, because a lot of people under the V6 video asked for me to explain most of the stuff, like what does what, right? So I'm gonna start by the farm and just explain most of the technical stuff as well. So what we have right here is this huge redstone line which just comes down from that lever over there. You can see the netherite block. This is where you turn it on, and then this will turn off, this will turn on, and so on and so forth. So basically this repeater will turn on eventually, and then turn on this clock. This clock will add a redstone signal to these rails, obviously. 2 ticks, 2 ticks redstone ticks, and 4 game ticks delay on this side. And then these observers right here and right there will see that. This will see it first because there's delay, so this pushes it, and then this pushes it, and so on and so forth. And when redstone blocks are moved, they actually send signals to these dispensers, because while they are moved, they are not blocking them, and then when they stop moving, they send a signal, because it's a redstone block, of course, right? So then they spam these dispensers really fast, so that creates a huge amount of kelp really fast. Like it just goes up really fast, as you can see if you've already made like the V6 or something. Okay, but before I tell you about everything else, I need to tell you about today's sponsor, Eldorado. Eldorado is a huge online marketplace with tons of great reviews. They are trusted and ranked high on Trustpilot. I buy stuff there myself, and it is actually very legit and cheap. Just choose the item you want to buy, and Eldorado will act as a middleman, protecting you from potential scammers. If you do end up getting scammed in some way, they guarantee to give your money back. The best part about all of this is that on top of these low prices, you can also get 5% off using code Mauschu5, which is also directly supporting me. If you end up using my code on Eldorado, make a ticket on my Discord with proof for a custom role only a few people have. Yeah, for the bone blocks we have like this unloader. It's a standard unloader, pretty simple, and then all the bone blocks go into these hoppers, and they lead into, let me go over here, these crafters over there, and they will stop as soon as they reach this hopper, and then the comparator will turn these on, and the clock will turn off, which then turns off the crafters. Yeah, we have 3 modules. That's just because we want to split the entity limit as much as possible, because we don't want to hit that. So we also have this little thing. Basically when the kelp comes, it gets slided over. This is basically gonna align it perfectly, like pixel perfect. So when the kelp comes, it's first gonna be aligned on this trapdoor, and then when it comes right here, it's going to be aligned right here, and then flow through the middle, because we have this little trapdoor mechanism that when we have the trapdoor closed, the kelp will go below these slabs at the chest and go this way. But when we wouldn't align this and just have a waterway like this, and without this trapdoor on this water source, then the kelp would actually end up on this pixel right there, and then it wouldn't hit the trapdoor when it's going up, because the water's flowing that way. So we have to align it so it's like right here, and then goes up against the pressure plate and to the chest. When we have the pressure plate open, which obviously happens automatically, you don't have to open it every single time, then this soul sand will bump the items up over the chest and directly into the water elevator, so they don't have to loop around and waste entity limit capacity. So that's a pretty good system. Over here, the items will be bumped onto this trapdoor, and there's a reason behind this trapdoor, because as you can see, there is a comparator under the trapdoor which reads a signal from this hopper through this soul sand. So when this hopper is filled with kelp, this comparator right there will update. This observer sees it, this observer sees that, this observer sees that, and powers this block, which then powers the sticky piston, and the redstone block will extend and then power the trapdoor, which then will open up. And yeah, pretty much when this is full, the trapdoor opens and everything goes through that. Alright, so that's pretty much the system behind that. We obviously have that 3 times over here, the exact same over there as well. And then when we go up a little bit to this side, we can see these minecart unloaders. So what we changed is we had water from these crafters going down to the unloader, but we exchanged that with hoppers because we're not hitting the hopper limit since it's 8,000. We have a little spare, so we used hoppers to as well lower the entities, because obviously dropped items are entities, and if they're in hoppers they are not entities. So basically everything fine on that side. So we have these little hopper lines just going into the shulker loader. Yeah, you don't have to fill these manually with shulker shells. That's why there's like these huge hopper thingies. They fill everything up with chests and shulker shells and stuff. And then the filled shulkers, there should be a shulker actually, I'm gonna replace that in a second. And then the filled shulker will go this way, and this dropper is constantly being powered, dropping the shulker through this soul sand upwards, and then the filled shulker of the red kelp blocks will land in your storage right here. As we can see, if we go through, this is your storage and it'll land in there, so you can pretty much just easily sell it, which makes everything easier. Okay, so then when you drop your bone blocks and blaze rods, what will happen is they will be led into huge shulker loaders. So these are two humongous shulker loaders, this one for bones and this one for blaze rods. They will shulker load everything and then put them into the blaze rod storage and into the bone block storage, which we have over here. That was pretty much the same in the v6.4. Additions we made is that there's like a lot of redstone lines, and that's just because we need to have signals for these redstone lamps and everything, and that's like really complicated to wire, because we can't have redstone like next to this obviously because of the button, and that'll power it and stuff. And then we need to be careful because of the redstone torch and everything like that, and we don't even have that much space. And then there's water everywhere because of the soul sand elevators. So yeah, this was a pain to wire, and that's because it looks kind of ugly. I'm not that happy with it, but it works, so everything's fine on that side. And yeah, it's pretty much okay, I guess. I would have been happier if the wiring would have been a little bit better, but I think it'll work out. We have this comparator to check if that shulker's in. It goes straight there. And then we have this huge thingy, because so right here we have this huge clock, and when the clock signals, this repeater will send a 4-tick, so long signal to this redstone, which will then be repeated throughout the circuit. And as you can see, if we turn the clock off, or like, wait, if this wouldn't fire anymore, like we turn the clock off, this would slowly turn off, turning this on, and then it'll go up to this, and as we can see, if we go in, this lamp will turn on, which means all the farms are filled with bone meal, because when the clock turns off, then it doesn't need more bone meal. As I've already explained, it'll turn automatically off if we don't need any more bone meal, so that's just the indicator for that. Also, a couple things to notice, that that is hopper minecarts on every single rail, but in some cases like this one, there is hopper minecarts missing, and that's just a human error by me. If you see this in the schematic, still place a minecart, please. Just place one minecart per railway, and you should be safe. Yeah, it's just that I forget some minecarts while building this, and yeah, it's a lot of work going through everything again and just placing the minecarts when you can just simply do it by just placing a minecart on every single rail track and everything will work fine. I don't think it's that hard to do, and I don't think it's deep either. So please do me that favor and just place a minecart on every single trail without the schematic telling you to actually, okay? So yeah, that's pretty much it for that. Okay, so if you like videos like this, ignore my skin. I have no clue why it's not my usual skin. It's probably like, I don't know. Okay, so basically, if you'd enjoy this and you want other farms in the future, then make sure to subscribe, because then you'll be notified on new farms and updates and stuff. And also join my Discord, because I'm obviously posting all my videos there, and you can check them out there and just be notified there as well. So a Discord and a subscription is both an option for you. Join the Discord for the schematic of this beautiful farm, and have a nice day.